Welcome back for another edition of SVG SportsTech On Demand series. We're taking you around the world of sports video production technology and the leaders who are making it happen. We are pleased to be joined by Andy Bellamy from our good friends at AJA Video Systems. He's their product marketing manager. Andy, it's wonderful to see you. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, really appreciate it. You guys have been doing some fantastic work to help the community right now in the world of remote production, whether it's your mini converters or, things for recording, playback, and backup. I mean, we could go down the list. But for those that are working heavily in the world of remote production right now, which is quite a bit of the community in light of the way things have gone over the last 12 to 13 months, what are some of the things that you guys have released that have really come up clutch for those looking to lean heavier into the remote and decentralized workflows?
Yeah, I mean, they really lie in sort of two specific areas. We've got the streaming side of products that we sell, which are helping people connect with timelines, with workflows, and then the other side of it is people wanting to share actual equipment remotely. So actual take control over equipment and work over remote distances. So we've kind of got the two areas. So starting in the streaming area, we've got both the Hilo and the Bridge Live, and these are two kind of very separate solutions. One is HD only, so Hilo takes you up to HD, and a very easy way to describe a workflow for that is you literally are going to take the video output of your timeline as an editor, and you can then share that via a stream, high quality, to smart TVs. So producers that can't be in the same room anymore with the editor, going through content, trying to get approval, they can be separate and yet still have the same sort of snappy experience of, wait a minute, no, rewind, edit that bit there. Can you drop me that frame in there? Or, they can basically have a real-time experience, even though they can be, geophysical distance could be very, very large. So that's a really easy way. And it is literally the output of the timeline of the NLE being streamed to a producer onto a smart television. So it's a really neat, really streamlined way of working. And at the moment, we can't keep Hilo on the shelf. They're just flying out for this kind of purpose. But of course, things have moved on a bit from HD. We've got other formats that we need to adhere to. So if you're going up to, say, 4K 60 right at the very outside, so the biggest formats, perhaps sports, something that you're really wanting to do, those high frame rates, we offer a product called the Bridge Live. And the Bridge Live is a 12G based product. So that's really neat. So you can take, again, that 4K timeline up to 60p, and you can then share that via H.265 or H.264 or even JPEG 2000. So super high quality codecs that mean that timeline image that you're then transmitting is being observed by a producer on a smart TV exactly as it should be seen. It's really going to be an almost instantaneous experience between the two. So the streaming side of it's been really, really strong for us, and that continues to grow.
Yeah, you kind of. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Karen. No, you go first.
Now I was going to say, you guys touch so many people in the sports video production community, especially on the live side, come to you guys for critical puzzle pieces to finish off their workflows. And some of what you're talking about already here in some of these solutions and things you can't keep off the shelves, as you guys are dealing with these wide variety of clients, wherever they may be from, what are you finding as their biggest pain points, and how are these solutions kind of solving those solutions for them?
I think one of the biggest pain points is if you've suddenly had to take your post-production from out of in-house where it's been embedded for many years, maybe longer than that. You've then got to uproot that and take that and then spread that, distribute it between people's individual homes where they can work from. One of the biggest bugbears there is you just simply can't replicate that giant stack of gear that might need to go to each of those rooms. You might be able to send them the video I/O, that's affordable. We make a bunch of products that fulfill that need really easily. But the larger equipment, we do a product called a HDR Image Analyzer 12G, which is one of the best products on the market for if you want to take into account any particular change in an image for HDR, for delivery. So from SDR to HDR. And what that does is that solves a specific pain point where these devices are pretty expensive. You're not going to have one in each of those individual rooms, but by having one at the facility and by using facilities management, you're able to use RDP, so remote desktop protocol, to actually share that piece of equipment. So you could get some images routed in-house, but you could then observe it remotely and also have access to all of the breakdown of all of the precise controls that kind of machinery requires you to use. So really, we're not limiting those editors. They're able to get on with the work the way they would normally do it, but when they need to turn to larger equipment, There's another piece of equipment called an FSHDR, which does HDR transforms. They can then also use those remotely too. So by accessing equipment remotely, they're able to make sure they're working correctly, but without having the overhead of having this giant stack of gear having to come to their own house. So they're actually working more or less the same as they were before. They're just in a bit more communication with the machine room, with the operators who might be moving things around for them.
Sounds super convenient and definitely easier of use, especially for those people who are working in either new environments or maybe even in their homes. Who knows? Like you said. Real quickly before we let you go, Andy, as we look ahead to the next 6 to 12 months, where fingers crossed we're getting back to some sense of normalcy in the world, where do you see some of these trends going? What's sticking, in your opinion?
Well, some of these remote workflows are beginning to stick. We're hearing definitely in the post-production world that people have got used to it. People are now, they've been doing it for a year or so. They've moved to a new workflow. They may not return to the office in the same way. So this is, I think we'll see some liberation of some of those roles and responsibilities will then be democratized to home workers, which I think is fantastic, because that opens up a global community to work, to getting the best for your production. I think that's really exciting. I don't think it negates from the big production houses. I think there's still a draw for that, and the big post houses. But being able to have smaller satellites that can operate in almost exactly the same way as the large facility, I think that's really compelling. As compelling as the democratization of digital video tools were. It really frees people up to live life more on their terms and not maybe be in the suite 18 hours a day.
Right. I think we will all be happy to put those days behind us.
Exactly.
Andy, we really appreciate all the work that you and the team at AJA are doing. And certainly thanks so much for taking the time with us today to kind of share what you guys are up to.
Thanks for having me on. It's been wonderful.
All right. He's Andy Bellamy from AJA Video Systems. You can learn more about what they are up to and check out the rest of the SVG SportsTech On Demand series right now over at the site sportsvideo.org.